In this session, we're going to discuss how warranty claims are entered by a dealer into the Samsung HVAC B2B DR Link app, and ultimately how the distributor would review the claims and process the claims accordingly through the B2B B-Link system. So we're going to actually use both systems in this session. And the first thing we're going to do is go over how a dealer, so this way you can communicate effectively to your dealers, how they can effectively submit claims. So this is the DR Link app, and this is certainly something you can provide directly to them, as well as the username passwords that they would need to access the system. With that said, once they're linked to you, any claims that they submit will show up in your queue for a review. So the first thing, as I mentioned, we're going to do is enter that claim in DR Link, and this would be the dealer's actions. So they're going to go in and select warranty claim. And there are four sections that they have available, and this is the same sections that you would have available to you as a distributor as well. The new warranty claim is what they're going to use to enter a claim in the system for the first time. Those incomplete warranty claims are those claims that they have already started but have not finished yet for a variety of reasons. These claims they will see, and those are ones that have been submitted to our distributor, you, for review and subsequent approval and submission to Samsung for review. And ultimately, this other last section here, AIR by distributor, is additional information required by the distributor. So this would be questions that you would have. The claim comes in, perhaps it wasn't complete, didn't quite understand maybe the root cause of the problem. This is something that you could ask a question, and it would show up in their queue when they select this. They can click on it, look at the question you asked. They can go in and add additional information as needed and resubmit for review. So with that said, they're going to go in and create a new claim, and they're going to click the next button. In this particular example here, we're going to enter a claim, and the first piece of information they're going to need to enter that is the serial number of the unit. So as you're reviewing the claims, this is something you'd want to make sure is accurate, and we'll go ahead and enter that sample serial number in the system here. So we enter that in, and as I instruct the dealers to ensure that the serial number is indeed accurate, this would be something you as the distributor would want to review as well. Once they've put in an accurate serial number, they would go ahead and click off the box. And what would come up is a validation that this serial number, either one, was registered previously to an end user address, or ultimately it also had a warranty claim submitted in the past as well. Either of those two actions will cause it to be visible in the system. The dealer would select and say, yep, that's the equipment I'm working on and the location. Let me click yes. In this example, they'll go ahead and put in the install date. If it was registered, it would show up there. But the one piece of information they need to put in is the end user business name or owner name. So we're going to put XYZ Mechanical as an example. And they're also on the right hand side here going to click whether or not they completed the job. So for example, if a dealer had a part in stock, they could go ahead and put in that they completed the work on whatever date. So let's go ahead and maybe yesterday they completed that. And what they're looking to do is essentially get a replacement component, for example. So they'd go in. The other option here is to put in a trouble ticket. So as a distributor, if you've worked with that dealer to diagnose an issue through your tech support organization, I've instructed the folks, the dealers, to go ahead and put that trouble ticket right here. So that way you can quickly reference that when you're reviewing the claim as well. The memo is a field that they can use to put a reference number in, and the confirmation email is essentially the email address that the warranty confirmations will go through. So the status changes, if additional information is required, the emails listed here, and it can be one or many, if we put a colon in between, would receive those notifications. The other thing we talked about is freight damage. If it is freight damage, that would be handled through the freight claim process. And we've instructed the dealers to go direct to the distributor to process their freight claims. And we'll certainly work with our distribution partners to expedite any equipment that's needed, potentially parts, in order to continue the installation process. In any event, this is a warranty claim, so we're going to go ahead and move to the next step. But before we do that, they also have ability to view if any additional information is requested by you. This is where it'll show up. So they'll be able to go in, look at the additional information. Maybe you ask to clarify the serial number on the job. Whatever that is, they're going to go ahead and make those modifications, additions, and send it over and submit it again in the queue for your review. And we'll go back to the claim submission form here. We'll go next. And this would be where the distributor location, this would be your information that would show up as a distributor. That dealer, their email address can be put in here as well, along with mobile phone numbers and so on. The other thing we talked about is where to ship that part to. So that part could be shipped to the distributor directly, and the dealer could pick it up in the morning, for example, if they needed to. It could be shipped directly to the dealer, or if we wanted to go direct to the end user, for example, just to streamline the process, they could do that as well. So a lot of different options there. The goal is to ensure that we're addressing issues quickly. We're getting the parts needed to the job sites quickly, and we get that piece of equipment up online as soon as possible. That said, in this example, we're going to have it shipped directly to the dealer, and we're going to click the next button. This is the shipping instruction form as part of the process. And again, you can put multiple email addresses if you so desire with a colon. You can tag it. So in this example, have Bob pick up part at shop in AM, and then a shipping memo if the dealer wants to put that in as well. We'd click the next button, and this is where the replacement parts as well as the problem cause and solution would be put. So we'll go ahead and in this example, we're going to put in a part, and let's assume for the purposes of this session, we had an EEV failure. So we'll put an EEV in. We'll select that electronic expansion valve. You can use the pull down, you can freeform. It's going to make the list shorter for you to select the appropriate part. It's important to add that component, because if it doesn't get added here, it won't show up, and we will not know what to order. In this example, we have the problem, defective EEV, the cause, EEV stuck, and the solution, replace EEV. There may also be some notes in here, worked with distributor, tech support to diagnose issue. And when they're done, they can submit the claim ultimately, or we can go to the next here. So if we don't submit direct, we can go ahead and click the next button, and it'll guide us into that process anyway. Or we can void the claim, we get through it, and well, maybe it wasn't a warranty after all. Let's go ahead and cancel that from the system. Don't see that being used often, but at least they have the option to do that. So we're going to submit the claim. And when you do submit the claim, we're going to have it says you have submitted the claim successfully. We're going to view and print the confirmation, just as an example of what the dealer would see. And there it is there. So you can see here warranty claim information. It has all the information that we put in about the root cause of the failure, the confirmation number, which ultimately is the warranty number in this particular example. And as we go down, the tag warranty order, all the text we put in about having Bob pick up at the shop, and we go down, and of course the part that they need is right here as well. So that's really the submission process that the dealer would use. If they wanted to create a new claim, they could do so. Or if they wanted to close and exit, they could go back to the home page. The next thing we're going to do is go to B2B, and we're going to actually look at the system itself. And this is what your view as a distributor would be. So if we wanted to go into the warranty claim process, we could say warranty claim. And this would be something I'd suggest we get into a regular cadence maybe reviewing in the morning when you first get into work, all the claims that have come in, kind of reach out, at least get the process going. If you need additional information, we can certainly request it at that time. But for example, here, we're going to go ahead and say submitted by dealer. And you can see here that these are the ones that the dealer has submitted. These are some examples that created earlier. But ultimately, here's our XYZ mechanical one with the end user that we just created in the last example. So let's go take a look at that. We're going to click on it. It says, do you want to continue to the selected claim? We're going to say sure. And things are going to, the nice thing is everything's going to show up for you. You do have a couple of different options here now. You would want to review the information. So we would go down and, yep, XYZ mechanical, that looks good. Serial number, that's one of ours. Install date, the service completed. We have the email communication. You can see the other one that's added now is your email address as well. So you can see the semicolon that was added as well. Not freight damage. If it was, they would have contacted you to process a freight claim. And in this example, we talked about them wanting a replacement for their inventory. So in this case, we can click replacement. Or if they wanted a credit for the part, we could do that as well. But right now, let's talk about replacement. And we can go to the next step. You can see here, USA filled in, the address is there, shipped to different locations. But right now, the ship to, we can, has the address there, so that's good. And I think we're okay. We're going to go to next. Here's the shipping instruction. And then ultimately, here's some of the parts. So it does have the list of parts. That's great. And this is where you would really review the claim. So as I mentioned previously, we want to make sure that it is very clear what the problem, cause, and solution is. Our goal is to ensure that we understand the root cause of the failure so we can drive appropriate actions within Samsung to understand the root cause and ensure that we minimize the potential of that issue happening again in the future. There are, on occasion, we'll ask for components back, but as a general rule, you don't need to worry about sending the part back. If we want to get a certain component back, we'll certainly request that. But in this example, you looked in, yep, great, problem, cause, solution. We worked with the diagnosis with our distributor, and maybe we even checked the call log ticket within the distributor system to understand, yeah, we did talk about that. We both decided to replace the EEV. Everything's here. It looks good. So we could submit the claim, but let's assume we wanted some additional information. We can request additional information. It says, do you want to request additional information for the warranty claim? Oh, sure do. In this case, we can add that additional information if we so desired. And maybe we put in here, was the system evacuated at startup? This is an example. And not to say that we'd ask that question, but if you needed additional information or it wasn't clarified in the ticket, maybe you have some additional things you would. And you'd say set. Do you want to set AR, meaning that memo? We say sure, and that will send it out. So at that point, that is complete. And if we go back into now the DR link section, and in the warranty claim, we can go ahead and look at the AR by distributor, and we can look at the XYZ mechanical. So here it is. We're going to go in, we'll look at it, and yep, same claim. Here it is. We just submitted it, and on 5/16, you asked, was the system evacuated properly at startup? I'll go back into the claim submission. We can click here, next, and we did perform a proper evacuation at startup down to 500 microns. And then we say next. You want to submit it? Sure do. And we've successfully completed that. So we can get out of here again and go back into the distributor system. And we're going to go back into the warranty claim here. And we're going to essentially look submitted by dealer. We're going to see again that XYZ mechanical. You want to continue. And we can go ahead and say, yep, we requested additional information. The warranty was submitted. So let's go see what they indicated here. Oh yeah, they did perform the evacuation. We're good to go. I'm okay to submit the claim now. I feel pretty good about it. We understand what the root cause is. They did their due diligence to install it properly. Let's go ahead and submit the claim. Yes. And your warranty claim has submitted. The confirmation is here. It's got all the information, and we can review and confirm that as well. There it is. It's got all the details. The explanation of the failure goes in there. You can see all the dialogue that has occurred as well, and along with the parts that are needed to support that claim as well. Let's close out of that. We're going to close and exit, and that's essentially how we would review a claim and how the dealer would submit a claim and the interaction that goes back and forth in the event that additional information is required. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our warranty administration team, and we can guide you through the process. Thanks so much.